Kitco Mining's special coverage of Xplor 2023 is brought to you by Radisson Mining Resources.
Welcome back to Kitco Mining's ongoing coverage of Xplor 2023 in Montreal. My next guest is Bryan Atkinson, Senior Vice President of Exploration at Fury Gold Mines. Bryan, thank you for joining us today.
Well, thanks for having us. It's it's been a really good start to the conference, and thanks for taking the time for having us on.
It's always our pleasure. So you're a Canadian gold exploration company with projects really focused around Quebec. You have two projects in the James Bay area. You also have another project in the Kitikmeot region in Nunavut. So could you walk us through a little bit what the nature of those three projects?
Yeah, our focus, flagship project is definitely the Eau Claire project in the James Bay region, just north of the EM1 dam from Quebec. So we've got great infrastructure in there. We can drive right to our deposit. So it's been our focus over the last 3 years, just kind of driving that forward and trying to expand on the resource while also exploring out along we've got a 55,000 hectare land package there. So really trying to grow that. Our other project in James Bay is the Eleonore South joint venture with Newmont. So we're a slight majority, just over 50% on that. And Newmont's the other partner. It's been sort of stagnant. Newmont's been busy this year, obviously, with their Newcrest acquisition, but there's some exciting targets there. We're surrounded by 4.5 million ounces between the Eleonore mine and the Sirius Resources Chichu deposit. So it's a great place to be. We've got some really nice targets up there that we're really looking forward to get to in 2024 from a grassroots exploration side. And then our project in Nunavut, the last time we were up there was in 2020. We had a big strike outside of the resource, 120 meters out of the resource. It's sitting there open, so there's still work to do up there to go up there, but it's a big land package. We've got the entire 300-kilometer long greenstone belt up there. We're hoping to maybe get a partner to go up there and explore while we can focus down in Quebec here.
All right, and what is the quality? I know Fury says they focus a lot on high quality deposits. So can you tell me a little bit about the geology?
Yeah, it's really grade focused, right? So our Eau Claire deposit is approximately 1.3 million ounces, 800,000 ounces in measured and indicated at 6.5 grams. So we're sort of 50% higher than the global average of what's in production, and we're just trying to grow that out to we saw a lot of potential in that when we made the acquisition in 2020, and that's what we've been focused on. So far. In the last 2 years, we've expanded the mineralized footprint by over 25% to the west at our hinge target. We've had some really good strikes outside of the resource on the east side, and we've gone into what historically was referred to as the gap zone, and we've hit a meter at 45 grams in there. So, we're going to have to rename that because it's not a gap. So, and the overall property package has been very interesting. It's seen, sort of not systematic work over the last 20 years. And we brought in a really disciplined, systematic approach, and we're coming up with new targets all over the place. Most notably, our Percival target, where we hit 13.5 meters at 8 grams last year. We've been following up on that this year, so we're just at the tail end of a 18,000 meter drill program. We got a lot of results pending for 18, 19 holes right now. We've had batches in the lab that are pushing 70-day turnaround in the lab, so a lot of our investors are wondering where the results are. We've been back at it since we got evacuated for the forest fires. We've been back at it for a long time, and the results are starting to come in. So we'll be pretty newsy over the next 3 or 4 months going forward here as we close out the program and into the new year.
Great. Well, you haven't been disappointing investors at all from what I've seen. You're one of the things that sets Fury apart is the strong financial position. Obviously, this has been a very difficult year for a lot of juniors, a lot of exploration companies, raising money, high interest rates, and this gap between the gold price, which we see continuing to set new highs in nearly every currency. We're only maybe 2%, 3% off in US dollars, but the valuations of the companies are still historically at very low levels. But you guys are doing quite well here. So can you tell me a little bit? I know in early March you raised $7 million, and it was upsized to 8.75. So what is it that's setting Fury apart on the financial side? What is it that investors are attracted to?
Yeah, it's sort of a multifaceted answer there. So, it's a sum of parts on so our market cap currently is $65 million. We have $45 million worth of equity in Dolly Varden from the sale of homestake project in BC, and we have $10 million cash in the bank. So what investors see is that our actual projects, we've got 1.3 million ounces in Quebec, 1.3 million ounces in Nunavut. We're not really getting much valuation for that. We're getting less than $10 million valuation for those flagship projects. Plus, we've got a couple majors invested into us, a big institutional fund out of the US. So it's just that sum of parts. And our new CEO, Tim Clark, he's spent a lot of time on the sell side, so he knows the big banks, he knows all the majors. So his connections are really starting to filter in and so that's a big part of it. And then our board and management team, look, we brought on Brian Christie, who's 15, 20 years at Agnico Eagle as the corp dev guy. We've got Isabelle Cadu that we just added from Sidex here in she's spent the last 25 years investing in junior mining companies in Quebec. And she came onto our board as her first board appointment after her retirement from Sidex. So, it's just the culture, it's the growth. We've cut our G&A by 50% in the last 18 months. So it's really focused on the ground exploration, disciplined approach, and a good solid management team that you can trust.
Great. And I guess just to conclude, can you give us a sense of some of the upcoming milestones for Fury, maybe in the next year and a half?
Yeah, so we're really looking, this year's drill program was focused on the hinge and tying it back into the existing resource. So in late Q1, early Q2 next year, you should see a resource update coming out for Eau Claire. Big exploration programs, lots of, we've been working the pipeline. We're going to have some good drill results coming out of Percival in the near future. We completed 10 holes out there this year for about 6,700 meters. Another 12,000 meters at the hinge, just tying that in for the resource update. And then you'll see a maiden resource coming out of Percival if all goes well. And then, we want to be active up on the joint venture next year, and we're actively looking for partners up in Committee Bay because that ground deserves some extra work up there for sure.
All right. Well, sounds like you've got a lot going on, and we'll definitely have to circle back in the next year or so, see where you guys are at.
Right on. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm Ernest Hoffman for Kitco Mining. Keep it here for more ongoing coverage from Xplor 2023 in Montreal.
Kitco Mining's special coverage of Xplor 2023 is brought to you by Radisson Mining Resources.